So you can never go wrong with spending some time with elephants. We've got a small breeding herd here, with a few big females and a few middle-aged youngsters, one of which has been very inquisitive, coming right up and sniffing the tracker seat of the vehicle here, and then starting to feed on a few branches right by the vehicle. Every time it actually tried to pull one, it would clang against the front of the vehicle, which is quite entertaining. Very sure of itself, and then once one of the bigger ones came walking across, it's gone off, moving off into the distance there. They're feeding on a jackalberry tree, which I haven't known to be super tasty, but I guess as you can see behind me, very few of the trees have got leaves due to them all falling off during the winter. And so the jackalberries are evergreen and they'll have their leaves throughout the winter, and so I guess it's some food that is available, so I'll just make do with what's around. It's also incredible just to see the dexterity of the elephant's trunk, how she's wrapping it around the grass, and once she gets a good grip, she pulls it out. In the winter, a lot of the grasses store their nutrients in their roots, and the elephants have now worked that out, and so once they've pulled it up, they try and pull it with the whole tuft of grass and their roots attached, and then they shake it off, getting rid of all of that soil, and then they'll throw that into their mouth to then feed on. If they keep a lot of that soil there, that'll wear their teeth down a little bit quicker. Whether they know it's going to do that or not, or maybe it's just uncomfortable when they feed on it, however, that's what they then do. Once that soil's gone, they'll eat it, and processing it from there through their digestive system. Definitely can't go wrong with spending some time with the elephants. It's actually a bachelor journey. This is a number of younger males, and they're busy trying to figure out exactly where they stand in the grand scheme of things. You've got them all necking with each other, but it's not a full-blown battle just yet. They're just developing and honing their skills for when they get a bit older and stronger, and they then move on to try and challenge some of the bigger males. Every now and then you've got one of them trying to mount the other, and that's also, they're rushing with hormones, especially testosterone, and they're a little bit confused, and with all of that they're then trying to sort of assert their dominance over each other, and that's what that mounting is there. But a pretty spectacular scene with them all sort of intertwining themselves amongst each other. We're going to carry on and see what else we can find this morning. Alfie's just managed to find the Birmingham males, a few Ntsevu females, and some of the sub-adults feeding on a buffalo. So we're not too far away. Let's get across there and have a quick look. There's one of the Birmingham males feeding, a few of the sub-adults around there. Some of the other females are very full. They're lying off to the side here. But this looks pretty fresh. Must have been early hours of this morning. It's great that the Birmingham male's here. He's looking healthy. We did see him yesterday morning also looking pretty good, and so this is all good news for him. He seems to have recovered. Those that thought he was down and out a couple of weeks ago when we saw him looking very skinny, this has just proved us all wrong, and that they're incredibly resilient. As long as they get a couple of meals in, they're able to bounce back. His brother is lying off in the grass over to the side. There's still a lot of meat left on the carcass, so I'm sure this is going to keep them going for quite some time. So the process now at a carcass like this is going to gorge themselves on whatever meat's available, go off to the side and sleep for a few hours, come back, eat, sleep, until the carcass is done. And with this many mouths around here, it probably won't last too long, maybe the rest of today, possibly throughout this evening until tomorrow morning. So you can see often there's a lot of competition at the carcass. Even though there's so much meat here, they're each battling it out for their own fair share, and often snapping at each other, clawing, biting, growling. It's an intense affair. I guess that is just innate in them, and then you often see them go off and lie down to the side and groom and love each other after that. This is quite an interesting turn of events. One of the vehicles arriving into the sighting, Melvin, has just found another male lion. He's watching, and he probably heard the commotion going on with them bringing down the buffalo. It is most likely the Inyathini young male. Now that he's lost his coalition partner, he's roaming around just trying to look for any helping hand that's available. But I can guarantee you he's not going to get any of this kill here, because he's definitely not going to be able to chase off these lions, especially if the two Birmingham males are here. Looks as though one of the lionesses, maybe two of the lionesses, have seen him, and so let's just see exactly what happens here. But it would be a stupidly brave move of him to be coming across with this many lions, especially with the two Birminghams around here. My best guess is he'll keep his distance, or maybe he doesn't know that the males are here and he's just chancing his luck. I'd say tensions are pretty high, because as epic as it is to see what happens here, we definitely don't want to be here to witness these lions killing off the Birmingham Male, especially since his coalition partner was killed not more than 4 or 5 days ago, so quite nerve-wracking. So the male's right here. These lionesses are all looping around him right now. He's very close. We're going to watch the male probably stand up shortly and go after him. Better run. There was a couple of minutes of intensity there. They all took off after the male. We came racing around because we couldn't get through from where they were. He's managed to get away. He's got a few scratches and cuts all over his rump, but they've settled down now. All the other lions have started going back across to where the carcass is. It's no surprise that they drove him away. It's just pretty brave from his behalf to come in thinking he was going to get away with some of the carcass or actually get involved here. We can't see him anymore. He's headed off into the thicker stuff behind us. We'll leave the sighting now, but with there being quite a bit of meat left in that buffalo, I'm sure they'll be around this afternoon. So you'll never guess who Barry's just found. We're quite some distance away, so we're going to try and get ourselves across there, hoping that Barry doesn't lose him before we get there. Amazing to see the Inyathini Male still alive and well. For a male that's about 13, it's incredible that he's lasted this long. He's lost a bit of condition. You can see he's getting old. This has been a pretty intense drive trying to stay with him. He's going through a very thick block. He's no longer dominant over any of the territory over Londolozi due to the Inyathini Male, the Senegal Bush Male and Mawela males coming in. They've taken over and driven him out. Now he's just cruising around, buying his time, and essentially he's a nomadic male at the moment. We thought he was down and out and that we were never going to see him again. So it's just phenomenal to actually know he's alive, he's well, and he's still cruising through Londolozi.